Alright.
So Kanye, man, we don't
Alright. Yeah.
I have all these notes, man.
Alright.
I ain't even fucking. You know what? Fuck it. Y'all just gonna hear me blow my nose a lot during this episode.
It happens, man.
Welcome to Coolin Out. I'm sick. This is Jarel.
Yeah.
And Sal. Yes, we are in the building this week. You know what? Fuck it. Our boy Terrence is here. Let's try to get some energy.
Fuck some
Come on,
sick stuff.
fuck some sick. Maybe give me that nasally talk. You know what I'm saying? What up?
Yeah,
Let's do it. Close to this.
You gotta get on the mic, bro. Don't be scared.
Hey, what's going on, people? What's going on, guys?
I'm looking at your levels.
Yeah, make sure you
Need
some more?
There
Need some more?
There you go.
There we go. What's up? Here we go. What's going on?
Yeah, how this came to be, Terrence?
I
You
mean,
hit me up last week.
This came out of a bad space, you know. This came out of a bad space. So I'm minding my business. I forgot what day. What day was it?
Last Thursday,
It
last
was
Wednesday.
last Thursday, Wednesday, something like that. And you know, I tweet a lot. I'm on Twitter a lot. So I'm on Twitter, and there's certain people who I put on notifications for. When they tweet, I get a notification to my phone.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Okay.
When he tweet, I need a notification to my phone.
That's once a year.
Hello. So it's people like that. So Jay-Z, when he tweet, I get the notification. The other person who I have him set for is Kanye. Okay, and it's been a while since Kanye tweeted. I don't think he's tweeted since he had that breakdown. You know, when he was on concert, he was doing the tour, and he was just wilding out, calling out Jay-Z and all that. So I was like, oh, Kanye back, and at first I was happy. I was like, yo, because Kanye is like my favorite living artist, and I say that, and it sucks because I never wanted him to be,
Explain that. Keep going.
Yo, to me, it's like Jay-Z was like my idol growing up. For those of us from New York, from Brooklyn, it was like Jay-Z. He's like that's Hov.
Yeah.
And before that it was Biggie. So I'm thinking growing up, oh yeah, Biggie's gonna be like my favorite rapper of all time, my favorite artist. But I mean, Biggie died when I was 7.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much influence did he really have on my life? Jay-Z, the same thing. When Jay-Z was at his hottest, I was in middle school, so his influence, it was there. But for Kanye, when he came out, and for the last 15 years, he's been that steady person, always putting out great projects, always putting out great music. And I mean, musically, I love Jay-Z, but as far as total body of work,
Arguably the best hip hop that's out there.
I mean,
Kanye,
his how many fans like Jay, there's some Jay-Z projects I'll never listen to again.
That's easy.
Even though that's Jesus for me, but there's still like 4, 5, or 6 tracks on Jesus where I'm like
4, 5, or 6?
4 or 5, 4. No, let's say 4.
We'll say 3.
There's still some work on that I need to listen to.
There's 10 tracks total.
There's 10 tracks total.
There's only like 2 off the top of my head. I really I ain't gonna lie. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
I still want you to play yourself out there.
You caught me, and I hate you. I went to that concert.
Now people swear by it.
I was like, what is this? I got tickets for free. I got tickets for free, so I wasn't complaining. I was in nosebleeds at the Barclays Center, so I was like, okay, this is cool, but this ain't for me. But besides that, just classic after classic after classic after classic after classic after classic. So, I was like, okay, Kanye's back on Twitter, and there were some things that was a little off. And we all know what Kanye went through last time he came out.
What was off?
Just some of the tweets. The thing that really set me off.
So, sorry, not to cut. You get the notification. You're what? Excited?
Oh, yeah. Because whenever he starts tweeting, there's music to follow. So that's what's going to come next. It's going to be the tweets and then the music. And we found out that he was dropping 2 albums, He was dropping his album. He had an album with Cudi that's coming out. I mean, he's producing pushing Nas, Pusha T, Tiana Taylor, his. And so I'm just like, yo, this is going to be for the summer.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a pretty good summer. And then this motherfucker everything just took a dive south when he put I forgot the exact tweet, but he basically said he loved Trump. And as much as I love rap and hip hop and music, I love politics. I love discussing politics. I watch 3 hours of the news every day. So, yeah. And I've always been like that since I was like 15. So, to take the 2 things I love the most, music and politics, and for them to intersect, not in a way in which I'm used to, in a way that I was not ready for. I don't think anybody was ready for it. I mean, even when he met with Donald Trump in Trump Tower, 2016, for me that was, Al Gore went to go meet Donald Trump, Steve Harvey went to go meet Donald Trump. So it was just like, for him to go ahead and tweet, oh yeah, I love Donald Trump.
That's his brother.
That's my brother? What is it?
Dragon energy.
The dragon energy? Like,
what the fuck is that? Is that I saw Nazi references, like,
yo, I
couldn't believe that.
Not from Kanye.
We got love. You heard him? We got love.
Listen, we got love.
It's the blonde in his head.
That's what it is. Yeah, and the dragon energy. And I'm just getting flashbacks of Charlie Sheen's going off and the tiger blood. And I'm just like, oh, he's lost. And then the picture in the hat. The MAGA.
Shit was fire.
The autograph is
fit. By yourself. 49.
Who was in the picture with him? What was that?
Leonard Cohen and Peter something.
Yeah.
Peter Tao.
Oh yeah, Peter Thiel. I'm just like, yo, this is just. I would have rather him not come back than come back. Even as hype as I was. So I hit up Kevin. I was like, yo, man, I need to talk to somebody about this because, I don't think I've ever hated anybody as much as I hate Donald Trump. I don't know the man. I never met him, but for him to take that office away from one of my favorite people of all time, Barack Obama, it's not, I idolize, I used to work for Barack. I met Barack,
Damn.
Yeah.
You out here. Okay.
So for him to take that seat and be that person to replace him, like the following person, I was just sick. I got sick. And so.
Off the top of your head, why should Kanye not love Trump?
Quickly
off the top of your head.
Because Trump is a terrible person. Okay. He's rotten to his core. There's nothing to like about Donald Trump. There's never been anything to like about Donald Trump. It's crazy that it took for him to become president for people who used to idolize him, rappers and stuff that he was in, that he was going to events with and stuff like that. It's crazy that there were things in the 80s and the 90s that he's done that should have been a deal breaker for them, but it wasn't. But you know what? That's fine because we all grow as people, and there were stories about. There's stories about everybody, and especially back then, some things we got to look past. And so for the people to associate with Donald Trump back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, that's fine, but not in this day and age. Not this guy. Not this guy. So
what do you think inspired him to come out? Because one thing that we texted about this past weekend with Kevin Ryan, and we're just talking, and he started tweeting about this on his own. It's not like someone prompted him to start tweeting about this. He just came out of nowhere and said, hey, I love Trump, and started going on this little tweeting rampage. So what do you think inspired him to come out about this?
Do you even know this guy?
Do you think he's being genuine? Do you think it's how he really feels, or this is just strategic?
I've changed my view on this, especially after listening to the 2-hour interview that he had today that was released today with Charlamagne.
Wait, before you get to that.
Yeah.
Did you hear Ye versus the People? Him and T.I.?
I heard the snippet, I haven't heard the full track.
Listen to the full track.
I was so disgusted because I listened to the other track that he released that same night. That what was the doo-doo track?
I just heard women singing it. I turned it on.
You know what's funny though? The singing part. I see potential in this. Right. Like this shit can be fire. But then when he said this verse is gonna make this verse right here, yeah, some shit like that. He's like shit, poopity poop scoop. And I was like, this nigga done tried.
He lost his goddamn mind.
I'm sure he gonna put something on that verse. I hope he does.
Yeah, because that beat is fire.
There's something at work, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, honestly, after listening, I think he's scared.
Yeah.
I think it's fear.
Yeah.
I think it's fear. He's scared.
And what?
Failure.
Yeah.
He's scared. He talked about it in an interview. He talks about being older. He's 40 years old now, right? He talked about how when he first dropped the College Dropout, every song, you heard it on the radio. His first 4 or 5 albums, you heard it on the radio.
Oh, now you're referencing the Charlamagne.
Well, I don't want to get too far into that, but I think he's just scared. You know, I think now he knows he lost it.
So he just retired.
He lost that spot in hip hop. He lost that #1. And
I
you guys know who I know is like, I don't like this person, right?
Oh, I thought you were okay.
Okay, yeah.
I know.
As long as you know. That's all that matters.
I don't like this person, but Drake scares Kanye so much. And Kanye's personality doesn't allow for him to be able to concede that. So he turns to these things. He turns to align himself with a Donald Trump because he thinks that that's the only way to get our attention. When that's not the only way. All you gotta do is make good music. You know? Jay-Z gave up that throne. Jay-Z's on a different level than Drake. Like monetarily, and I feel like
no, he's done.
Like I think it's
accomplished everything. No, he's accomplished everything.
You know how I feel about Drake.
I'm just saying musically.
He the reigning.
No, I'm not talking about like if somebody drops a single, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drake, Kanye, or Jay-Z.
Or Kendrick, or J. Cole,
or anybody.
That's right.
Who's going #1? Drake. And that scares Kanye. Like,
I like that on audio.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what it is. So that's what it is. And I feel like some artists, they have a hard time dealing with not being that guy. And Kanye was that guy for so long. And he's always had a thin shell. He's always been insecure. You know, he talks about, in All Falls Down, you know, about his low self-esteem and all of that. So I think it just manifested itself into him going on this crazy Twitter tirade and hanging out with Donald Trump and saying I love Donald Trump and Candace Owens, who's another black conservative, and saying, oh, I like the way she thinks and her thoughts are terrible, you know, and we keep trying to make excuses, but I think it's at that point where can we continue to make excuses for this grown man, you know? Blaming the Kardashians.
I listened to the Charlamagne interview he did, and it sounds like he's moved past that. He acknowledged how his ego played a part with like his hits not being played on the radio in terms of Pablo, but then he acknowledged that like ever since he had that breakdown, it like gave him breakthrough. I'm sorry, he did call it breakthrough. Yeah, it's like it shifted his focus and gave him newfound energy and new focus.
Yeah.
You don't believe him?
I don't know, because I feel like he's still not in a good space. And let's say he's not a good. Let's say that everything he's saying he believes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that everything he's saying he believes.
He said he's moving off his feelings. Moving off his feelings. He doesn't have all the answers, but he's moving off his feelings.
Yeah, he kept saying, I don't have all the answers. And I think that in that interview, the great thing about that interview was he had the time to talk his way through it. If you watch what happened with TMZ, he said today,
I was telling Ryan, that was just two polar opposites.
Yeah. And
I subscribe to that. He must just be his meds or it's strategic.
Yeah.
Because it's just two different people.
I feel that with Twitter and with sound bites, you get a side of Kanye that isn't I don't feel like it's the real Kanye. I feel like the real Kanye is the person that was in the interview, and the person who you hear on the sound bites on TMZ, the person who's tweeting out you only have 160 characters. Like, you can't really get your full thoughts out there. So it's kind of like, I feel like Twitter sound bites, they don't do Kanye any justice. Kanye needs a place where he can
see
visually and have the ability to go on about a topic instead of just, I got 160 characters, what can I say about this? You know? So
I think when people saw him tweeting a lot, they envisioned him tweeting like how he appeared in the TMZ.
Yeah.
And if I'd seen that first, I would have been like, okay. But then when I saw him in the Charlemagne and he's like poised and composed, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I saw this and I just go off the tweets. But then when you follow that up with the TMZ, I saw the wildest stuff. He talked about his opioid addiction. He said he got liposuction.
He said that?
Yes.
In the TMZ?
Yeah. He said he got liposuction for us.
Liposuction from where?
I went to two minute section.
To lose weight, he didn't want to be like Rob.
No, liposuction from where? Like what part of his body?
I don't know. They asked him about his opioid addiction and they gave him like medication after the surgery and he got hooked, I think, from 2 pills to multiple. Yep.
I thought it was
I
like
just read it because I got
Yeah.
an Apple News alert. Yeah.
It's that big of a deal. Apple's got like, I mean, I didn't know it was that bad. I know in the Charlemagne interview, he talked about, Charlemagne asked him, hey, what, are you on pills? And Kanye was like, yeah, I'm on pills. And he's like, yeah, what pills? And Kanye's like, I don't feel comfortable, telling you what pills. And so, but people won't listen to that interview. They don't want to spend 90 minutes listening to this interview about this artist who they used to care about. They just see the tweets because you can easily consume that, and they'll just see, oh yeah, slavery was a choice, and they'll just go off of that.
Which is wild.
Which is very wild.
I'm not defending that at all, but in the context that he gave prior to however long that TMZ interview was, which it wasn't that long, I don't think. But the Charlemagne is like 2 hours of like a lot of quotables and a lot of good quotes, but that's all gonna get overshadowed by the slavery thing.
That's why I was so disappointed when I came
You
here.
saw that? He said slavery. He
He said slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
For 400 years.
At the same time, I don't feel bad for Kanye. One, just because he's well aware of these circumstances. Like you're saying, oh well, people are gonna look at the tweets and they're not gonna watch the interview because it takes 2 hours. You know that in this day and age, if you tweet something, it's more easy to digest. People are going to look at it because people digest information way faster. No one really has time to when people have time, but no one wants to really make time to sit down and watch a 2-hour interview where you're already you're choosing to say something that's very outlandish and tweets, and then you want to try to explain it later in a 2-hour interview where the average person doesn't want to hear that. Yeah. And granted, so for me, this is how I took it. I saw the tweets, right, and I see everyone going off. I'm sitting back, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna overreact. I'm not gonna overreact. But that's just didn't sit well with me because it's like, you know how people are gonna take that.
Right.
Like he's saying that he's doing it to show love and trying to reverse the statement behind MAGA and all this other shit. But it's like, no matter what you're doing, you know that you're gonna affect someone. It's like almost similar to us when we're dealing with women, Like I used to always think everything had to be logical. Like, what you're saying, that I saw a girl tell me, what you're saying makes no sense to me. Like this makes no sense. This is what happened. Why your feelings are saying this, but this is not what happened.
Right.
And that's basically what Kanye is saying. Like, oh, I'm wearing this hat. And granted, I know you're gonna feel this way, but I'm telling you that you shouldn't feel this way because da 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 da. Where it's like that hat represents that, not the hat, that saying as a whole, MAGA and all those supporters, it just represents so much more than
What you think?
no, not what he thinks. It just represents so much more hatred than Kanye just simply saying I'm trying to show love through it can overcome. Like you just saying that's not gonna overcome it.
He does a good job on when you listen to the track again. We
You
talked
definitely
about
said that's right, though.
We talked about
I heard
this on Saturday
yeah.
because even though his thoughts might be genuine, people are just gonna use like you in a MAGA hat for their own message, their own motive. Like Trump already the other day was at like a rally with the where he talked about the Mexicans. And he name drops Kanye like already. So it's just
And once that happens, you look like a Trump supporter.
Yeah, you lose all. What do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Mhm.
So you didn't mean to.
This is another thing. So this is why
Did he mean to?
put those tweets out.
But I'm saying he didn't mean for his message to be co-opted by Donald Trump but
I think he did.
That's what I'm saying. But did you?
I think he did though, because if you listen to this
to
Gay versus the People, these tweets literally look like they just promo for this song.
Mhm.
They look like they just like promo for this song.
Yeah.
Because even like there's a line in there where he's like, not all black people have to be Democrats. And even when Chance was defending him, Chance literally said that as a direct quote in a tweet, like, not all black people have to be Democrats.
so what happened to Chance?
And Chance got slowed. But it's like, so if you see all the tweets leading up, and you look, once you hear the song, you listen to the song, you literally be like, oh shit, like it literally feels like this was just like a setup to get promotion for this song, like to get free promo for this song. And he wanted to get people riled up and listen to the song where he's kind of explaining himself and T.I.'s going against him, basically speaking for the people.
Right.
T.I. did a great job on this song.
Yeah.
Which is really good. You have to say that song. I feel like T.I. was like very like brutally honest, and I really appreciated that on that song.
Yeah, there's like a 4-minute clip on Kanye's website of him and T.I. talking.
Yeah, we didn't listen
It's
to
a
that.
pretty show, yeah.
Yeah, it's very brutally honest, but it just looks like it was just like lined up promo for that song to drop.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. People, honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. It's like, when people do shit like that, it's like, alright, cool, I don't want to support that shit. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's Kanye. It's like,
But he's also like just a like I don't know his intentions. I agree with you. He has to know better.
Yeah.
But like, when he talks about in the Charlamagne interview when Kim gets robbed and how he's feeling his current relationship with Jay, you also realize like at the end of the day he is a human being.
Yeah.
Like when he said that you gotta understand I'm as famous as the president, but I don't get the same security. So like when my wife is like kidnapped, it's like it's on me. And like when it just resonates with you, like what fame does in America. Like that's a whole other convo, but you realize it's just one person.
Yeah.
But again, some of the things he does put on himself.
No, I completely understand that he's human, but it's just like,
Some of these things, yeah, he definitely brings.
what's the call for this?
I
Like,
agree.
what's the call
I
for
agree.
this
Who his manager is?
We got.
He doesn't have. He
Yes,
can't
he
be mad.
does.
He can't be mad.
Who's his manager?
He said we can't be
But
mad.
then who's his manager? You
That's,
guys
but
don't
you see,
know
that's why him and tweet. That's why him and Trump are boys. Motherfuckers be going on for Twitter.
Yeah, there's nobody who like.
Kris Jenner is
What he-
manager.
Oh.
Is she really?
Yes.
He said he can't be mad. That's what he told. That's what he tweeted. That's what he told Shaw.
Yeah, he
I
told.
don't know what happened in the
I
house.
don't know.
I mean,
I can't afford.
I don't want to get to that. I don't want to get to that point where I'm blaming the Kardashians, blaming Kris. It's just.
It's easy.
I mean, listen. It's possible.
It's not even about who to blame. It's she knows what to do. Like when they have her show, the reason why none of them are talking about this Tristan Thompson shit is so that they can get high ratings on.
Yeah.
Like that's why none of them and they're all keeping quiet.
Of course, next season they gonna go.
Next season they all gonna go. You gonna
And
watch
it's
them. You
coming
gonna
like-
make bread. Like they want Kanye's crazy. Like what is going on? Like what the fuck? And you see him doing all this shit, you gonna want to listen to it.
I want to be.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't even say like, yo, that's
Because that family is
well in the
just.
realm of.
Quick aside, now you just said that, I wouldn't be surprised if this whole Tristan Thompson thing was like a setup. Like it was like a.
Oh,
it was like a
yeah.
farce.
Yeah.
Like she told me to go out there and say with 5 women get caught on.
Yeah, the video was how many months old? 7 months old?
Second half,
And it just
second
came
half.
out.
He's right in the paparazzi list.
Yeah, like,
Word
He was like, you commit too.
Living
the camera.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Decent Samara when he was like, yo, you don't know the rules, bro? Like, you go up first by yourself. And I was like, why did you? And then you showed your whole face.
Like, I gotta live a good life.
This nigga stop
He knows
posing.
exactly what he's doing.
It's the.
TT.
I don't know, like.
But the way, so the way I felt last week was denial. Because you don't want that to be like, come on, we all love Kanye, so we don't want that. And
I
that
haven't heard him speak.
it went from denial to anger.
Yeah, I saw him too.
Yeah, I once I saw that hat, it went, my eyes were, I was red. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck Kanye.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna listen to another song by him. I'm not gonna go to this I've been at every single Kanye West concert, every single tour. I seen him, what, 5 or 6 or 7 times. I'm like, that's my guy. And so once I saw the tweet with the hat and Donald Trump,
It's over.
unfollow.
Yeah.
It's like going through a breakup, man. I had to unfollow
The
it.
breakthrough.
The breakthrough.
Did you unfollow the 35 people that constantly retweeted all his tweets?
It ain't hard at all.
Follow him to be able to.
Yeah, you don't. But it's crazy. Like, I mean, that's my favorite living artist. Was I have to unfollow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. You know, I ended up listening to that first song because somebody was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this song, that poo poo song or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, you got jokes. You set me up." And then I don't know what else to call it. I don't even know the name. And then once I spoke to him, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta get on the pod and talk about it." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna listen to the album, I'm gonna listen to interviews just so I can talk about it."
Yeah.
And so I listened to the interview today with Charlemagne, and then I close the interview and I see what he's talking about on TMZ. Yo, I might not listen to the album. I might not listen to the Kanye album.
There's other outlets to listen to. I told myself I want to listen to the other. I just can't listen to it in a method that's gonna support him.
Yeah. You mean
Shout out to Rap God.
They ain't heard no one. They ain't on no one. But I understand that, and I completely agree with that.
Oh, and the reason why I feel that way now is because to me, it's obvious this is just a marketing ploy for attention. You think Kanye West really believes that slaves had a choice of whether or not they were slaves or not? No.
Now Jesus walks here.
Like, of course not. That man, you know who his mom is?
Yeah.
Like, you know who his dad is? Like, there's no way that man thought that the slaves could be like, you know what, we're not slaves anymore, we're walking away. Which means that if he did believe that, that's ignorance, that's on one thing, but what makes it worse is because he knows it's not true, and he's still saying it anyway to get that attention, so that the world is focused on him. CNN last week, Thursday and Friday, was like, yo, South Korea and North Korea are ending the Korean War.
Yeah.
They spent 20 minutes talking about it on CNN. They spent the other 40 minutes talking about Donald Trump and Kanye West's relationship. How crazy is that? Which means it's so much worse than him just being ignorant. It's him purposely trying to stir trouble and cause trouble and know that he's being used by these people and his message is being co-opted by Donald Trump and the Republican Party. And he's like, I don't care. And that makes it so much worse.
You know, I hate people who, what's the word I'm looking for? Who direct conversations who move conversations in different directions than what the conversation was. So, and getting rich to people, right? Like T.I. said something about where Kanye's response was not all black people be Democrats. I mean, but it's not necessarily about you being a Republican. It's about you supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But people like to but what he did, he tried to direct the conversation a different way and make it on a large scale. Well, I'm not a Democrat, I'm a Republican. And that's why Chance got fucked up too. But it was like, we're not talking about you being a Republican or Democrat, we're talking about you supporting Donald Trump and everything that Donald Trump stands for. And you said that you support that and how that makes a lot of your fans feel. People who supported you, made you big, made you everything that you are now. how you coming out and saying, "Oh, it's outlandish," and I hate this, but like I don't like saying that, but like what some people classify as coonish shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that because I don't know if you actually feel this way. If you feel that way, then it's not, because you know that's how you feel. Those are your personal feelings.
Right.
And I will say that what he says is very logical. What he's like, except for like the slavery shit, but like what he's saying about him like trying to portray love and those things, it's logical to a fault, because I was playing this to them on Saturday when we were texting. I was like, his avenues are very limited. Like his avenues are music, social media, and that's it. So like if you're tweeting all these negative things, right?
Yeah.
What avenue are you showing the love through?
Yeah, I think you're not.
He's not. So he's saying like, I'm trying to show love, but you're like using all of your avenues to show this ignorance, basically. But then you say, I'm using it to show love, but you're not really showing love through any of the avenues that you really have. It just like really, like I really like it just baffled me. I was like, this nigga Kanye is really tripping, and I'm thinking like, yo, cool, maybe he wants attention, but what would he get from this attention? Like, if people just gonna stop supporting his music, like, what is he gonna get from this?
He knows we're not gonna. He knows that enough people won't stop supporting him. I think that. I mean,
in this day and age, where race is like a huge topic,
I feel like anything.
Yeah, I don't know why he'd go about it. If he just come back after knowing his story, people would like, he would got sympathy and stuff.
Slavery.
This route choice is
like, I can't believe that he believes it, because in the interview with Charlamagne, and I'm not a huge Charlamagne fan, right? But
did Charlamagne speak about this? I didn't see the interview.
Yo, Charlamagne actually kept asking him, talk about your relationship with Donald Trump, and yo, Kanye would start about Donald Trump and end up talking about the head of Louis Vuitton and Virgil, and he would just go in a circle, and Charlamagne
Spin master.
like just
He's like, Donald's my boy. Like, that's my boy. Like, no word about how your relationship is. Why?
He said
like
he said he doesn't agree with everything he said. He said he loved that him actually getting elected, because it showed him that anything was possible. He doesn't love what he's done in office. He said he doesn't agree with what he's done in office, but he loved what that possibility, yeah.
But that was after him asking him,
that's
out.
near
Like,
the end.
it's like, and he's sitting there, like, he kept asking about Donald Trump, and he's just quiet. He was like, yo, what would your mom think?
Yeah. He even spins that the George Bush line back on him. Like, Donald Trump came about black people, and he just like laughs and acknowledges that he's spinning on them.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In Versus the People, he said when Barack became president, that was the 7 cents.
Heaven sent.
Oh, heaven sent. Okay, God bless. Because when I first heard that, I was like, what? Because I thought he was saying like Barack Obama becoming president meant less to him than when Donald Trump became president, and then when Trump became president, that's what showed him he could be president.
I wasn't even involved in what he's been doing. So
that's what I took from that. But even the fact that you're saying that still kind of conveys that message. Like,
it was so crazy, because last week he also said that Barack Obama didn't do anything for the people of Chicago.
Yeah.
Which one is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? Yeah. But then in the interview, he's talking about how before Barack ran for president, he called Kanye, he called his mom Donda, and he brought them to Chicago. He said, guys, I'm running for president, to get their blessing. Well, not blessing, but to get their support. And it's like in the past week, he's talked about like Barack hasn't done anything for Chicago. But then in the interview, he's talking about how much he loves Barack and how Barack is literally the perfect person.
But do you see that though? That's what I'm saying.
It's just like, yo, like
He doesn't think before he speaks.
he doesn't think before he tweets.
But I'm saying in those shorter avenues where you're gonna reach more people, you're saying the ignorant shit. And the avenue where less people are prone to watch, which would be the 2-hour interview, you're saying the more intelligent shit. And it makes no sense to me. Like, it literally makes no damn sense. What has Donald Trump done for black people? Besides fucking irritate the fuck out of us.
He said in the interview nothing.
And antagonize.
Nothing. And like off of what Kevin said, when he talked about how he saw the reason why he was so happy Trump won was because he said anything was possible. He was like, so if I was to run as president, he was like, I would run like Donald Trump, but on a Bernie Sanders platform.
That would be his mix.
That would be his mix. He's like, I'm a producer, I take different things, and I'm like, yo, why can't you tweet that? Like, I'm gonna run as a braggadocious, like talk to your face, like all in your face, politician, but for the causes that I care about, like Bernie Sanders causes.
He's gonna put that in his album.
There's like a couple things when Charlamagne asks, and he takes like long times to answer. And one of them, he asks him, "Would your mother agree with you?" And there's a long, because I'm listening to it and working, so I had to go check the site in my
And
he finally says like, "My mother doesn't have to agree with everything I say." Just like that.
I mean, he said that, but he was like, at the same time,
Yeah,
he said
no,
mom's an activist.
Yeah.
He's like,
No,
an
yeah,
activist.
so-
So it's just like, I feel like there's like two different sides of Kanye.
There's one he wants to be and one he's like faking. Like I don't feel like this is him. Like I really, but after that interview and watching his face and looking at him and his emotions and stuff, I don't think this is him.
The part that baffles me the most is just why. Like even if you felt these ways, even if you genuinely have a good relationship with Donald Trump, why? Like a lot of people have good relationships with Donald Trump. Tom Brady has a good relationship with Donald Trump. He always speaks about it when reporters like vehemently ask him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, that's my friend." But he's not just like, "Today I'm just gonna send out a tweet and say, oh yeah, Donald Trump's my homie," and then like just going in with all these tweets. It's like, cool, if you have that relationship with him, you have that relationship with him. Like we don't know the underlying details of their relationship, how they have that friendship. So it's like, all right, cool, if you have that friendship, you have that friendship.
Right.
Even then I feel some type of way about it. It's like, whatever, that's your friend, because I'm sure we've all done some shit where it's like,
but this bad friend runs the entire free world, so it's kind of
but it's like, for example, if you were president, right, you were fucking up like big time, like Trump is, right? You would still be my boy, but I wouldn't be on Twitter like they're not just going in for no reason. Like, where's this coming from? Like, no one asked him his relationship with Trump. No one said anything to him. He put this shit out and just started going on a rampage.
That's why, he's saying he's moving on how he feels, but
his feelings,
he gotta think more.
It's just like, all right, so let's say you're like Jesus, like love, like turn as like a Jesus Christ figure, or like a Mother Teresa, or like forgiveness is the key, right? And we kind of saw a little bit of that with the surgeon who performed surgery on his mom.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
Like I saw that and I was like,
bruh.
Yo, what is?
He said he's gonna make. Do you see that? He's gonna make the face of the surgeon that killed his mom his album cover. His mom died from blood
because he's forgiven everybody and has to love everybody, and like I saw that and I was
feels like too much.
This nigga crazy.
I just feel
the new OJ.
too much.
But that's another thing too. I was thinking about, and I was like, all right. I remember Kanye with slow jams, like. Who is this dude who's rapping through his wire jar and shit? And then I was trying to figure out when did he lose all that? And it was like I felt like he became less of a rapper and more controversial. Like you cared more about maybe how he felt than his music at a point. Like we liked his music, but the media portrayed him as someone who was like crazy in a way. And it
wasn't
like
the Taylor Swift thing?
Before that, Runaway was before Taylor Swift, right?
No, after.
It was after?
Because he came, that was his first album back after the hiatus.
Or even though interrupting her, that was like graduation.
That was the start.
That was
808s, after 808s. Because his mom died, he interrupted her, and then he went up to Japan and interned for Fendi. Then he didn't come back until, remember he did that song on Rick Ross' album? Live Fast, Die Young. It was like the first time you heard from him in a while, and then
Beautiful.
My Beautiful came. That was his first album since.
his mom.
But it just feels like he doesn't fit anywhere but to be controversial. Like all the people in hip hop that are making the music, like they don't need to be on Twitter and they don't need to be doing extra shit
Because they know who they
because
are.
they know who they are. Like Kanye doesn't fit anywhere now, and he's losing his mind because he always fits somewhere.
See,
That's not true. I think Kanye has always stood out because he's always tried. He's always been preaching to not put him in anything. He wanted to be a designer. He's like, oh, they want to be a designer because I don't have these things. He never wants to be in one box. And I think this is just who he is. Like this is probably the first time when he's saying something that universally most minorities disagree with him on.
Yeah.
And it's a power to his influence and scale.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers that are big that if we did this, they wouldn't be covered nearly as much.
Right.
Or it wouldn't resonate nearly as much as it does with him.
Yeah, he's in a different stratosphere now.
So that's another thing I don't understand why he's doing this. He has the clout, the influence. I don't get it.
He has a different kind of clout though. I don't like to talk about them, but the Kardashians, it's a different type of a life. Like that's like they live like there's Hollywood, but then there's like Kardashian wood. Like the way they live, it's just
everything seems strategic.
It's like so strategic. Everything is like so different, and
It's not real life.
but you can just see that. Like Kanye just being like, based on what I understand from his interviews, like he already thinks that he's like godlike.
Yeah.
And everyone should like, bow down to him. He's like the greatest of all time in every single facet of everything that he touches and everything that he does. So imagine that and being paired with a family
like that.
That's just like that. So you live in that world and you guys basically living in this cocoon together. So I can see why he possibly loses his mind. And now you come out into the real world and you're talking. And you sound fucking crazy as shit. And like everyone's like looking at you like, yo, you sound crazy as fuck. It's almost similar to like if we all grew up poor as fuck together. One of us get rich as shit, go away for a couple of years, start living a different life. And then, no, real talk. And then come back. I don't look like they come back and start talking to you about like tuna tartare and shit. And you like, no, bro, you like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just a total different lifestyle. But they literally live in this cocoon, like, all together. Like, that family is just completely different than anything else. Like paparazzi all day nonstop. And this nigga already thinks he's literally godlike. Like
he adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah. Numerous times he said he's more popular than Barack and those crazy shit. Like and him and Kim more influential than Barack and Michelle. So like this is what he really thinks. He thinks that everything he does, people should just recognize his greatness for it. So someone who has that kind of like confidence and is that outspoken, like this point that he's at right now, I'm like, this nigga's just crazy. Like, that shit sounds insane to me. I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in the interview, he talked about how one of the reasons, why he liked Donald Trump was because after he had the breakthrough, breakdown, breakup, or whatever, he said he lost his confidence. He said he just wasn't himself. He wasn't Kanye. And so he was like, once he saw what Donald Trump was doing, he's like, that's actually what gave him his confidence back.
Yeah.
He's like, he forgot who he was for a second. He lost himself. And I think that, I just think that there were just a lot of things piled on, like his mother passing away, the whole Taylor Swift thing. He talked about when Barack Obama called him a jackass. He said he was hurt. Even his issues with Jay-Z.
Yeah, not going to his wedding.
Yeah, not going to his wedding. And it's crazy because he said he'd actually never talked to Jay-Z about why. So he never reached out. He's like, it's probably because right after the whole thing with Jay-Z and Beyonce, that's when his wedding was. His wedding was like, in a few weeks after, he's like, that's probably why. They didn't come to the wedding, but he's like, but he didn't know, but he felt hurt, by Jay-Z saying he gave him $20 million. He's like, that money didn't come from Jay-Z. That money came from Live Nation. He's like, Jay-Z had a co-sign for the money, but he's like, Jay went on the record and he was like, yeah.
That's crazy.
He was like, yeah, I gave him $20 million. And he was like, nah, Jay-Z ain't give me no money. Live Nation did. Jay-Z was just like, yeah, you can give that money to Kanye. I'm good for
He's
good for it. It's just like
and he I think Charlamagne asked him about when Jay-Z said he responded like that because Kanye brought his family in. And he asked Kanye how he felt, and then Kanye said it depends, because if we're brothers, then that means we're talking about our family. But if we're business partners, it's something else.
I wrote that down. I'm like, if we brothers, then how can I be talking about your family? We family.
That was the
I was like,
I didn't think,
you know what?
Nah, that shit ain't that deep. Nah, I'm thinking about it. Nah, it sounds deep, but it's really not.
I mean, that's big brother. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you're brothers and you talk shit about my wife, you still talking about my wife. Or my child.
did he talk shit or was just like, yo, y'all don't hang around us? Like, that's not talking shit, it's a fact. You didn't come to my wedding, you don't hang out, our kids don't hang out with each other. Like,
yeah, Beyonce does throw shade at Kim. Like that was the time she was going.
This happened at a concert where Kanye went on his rant about them, right?
Yeah, it was happening.
Why? Like that's the point of the matter is that you're talking about my child to a mass audience. Like it's not like it's for no reason. You're not like you're saying this to me where you're like, yo, why don't our kids hang out there? You're literally talking in front of 40, 50,000 people plus the millions who watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're talking about my child. So that is somewhat of a slight and a diss. I would take it that way. Like, yo, what the fuck? Why are you talking about this on stage?
I mean, he ain't lied though. That's the thing. It's like you can disagree with the methods, but he ain't lied. You know, he's not lying. I feel like he thinks because he's honest,
that's okay.
That's okay. And it's just like, yo, there's gray area. I feel like he doesn't respect that gray area. So I understand what he's coming through with I understand his issues with Jay-Z and not coming to the wedding. I'm just saying that's just one more thing that led to him having that breakdown in which now he's developed a opioid addiction.
But did you guys ever see like Jay and Beyonce like being like that type with Kanye and Kim? Like for example when that relationship first came to fruition and we realized how serious they were, I had an inclination that they weren't gonna be like the awesome foursome or some shit like that, just because of the way that Jay-Z and Beyonce move. Isn't the same way Kim Kardashian moves.
It's like the opposite.
Yeah, it's like the complete opposite. At that time, Jay-Z and Beyonce were like super secretive, like super. It's like what 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Where you wouldn't see Jay-Z and Beyonce like unless they were like dropping something. Like they were just super secretive about everything they were doing. And then you got Kim Kardashian who's super revealing and super out there about everything she's doing. So I'm not surprised that they don't hang out together. I'm not surprised that their kids don't hang out. If Jay-Z and Beyonce are super secretive, I wouldn't want my child on TV, like potentially being at your house with your child, and then my child is going on TV. You know, it's just all those extra things that they probably don't want for their child. That I'm sure that plays a role into it.
But that's like too. Like let's say you have your girl, none of your boys like your girl. What do?
What do you mean?
So no one likes Kim. Like Kim is not good.
I'm not saying no one likes Kim. It's just that.
They don't respect.
I don't say I have a lot, but I know people who I don't like their significant others and shit like that. Like, it's not about, I think it's more or less than I like her. I think it's just the lifestyle, like having to be in that lifestyle rather than being necessarily around her.
Because Kanye isn't in it like that one.
He's different now. But at the end, but if this guy's your brother, right?
It's hard. It's like what Kanye said.
How old was the kids? The kids was like 2 years old. You told me in 2 years our kids haven't hung out? Like that's crazy. It's like you don't gotta like my girl, but I'm gonna bring her around.
But if my woman don't like your girl, that could throw some shit off. Yeah, think about someone like. And this is all speculation, obviously. We don't know.
No, it ain't. We got the inside.
Think about like someone like Beyonce, right? Who's stupid talented, who came up, who like got her an enormous fucking fortune, an enormous following and fan base just based on her talent, and then you got Kim Kardashian. And I'm not saying like that because obviously she made a shit ton of money, where realistically she doesn't have a talent. But it's just like I somewhat can see that being an issue because like I even like just in my everyday life, you know, if I met someone who just like had no kind of like intelligence whatsoever about them and they just like making a shit ton of money, I'm like, yo, how? And it's just like we just wouldn't rock. Like how'd you I'm like, no, but really, like you wouldn't say nothing, but you just be thinking this all the time and you like we don't have the same I just can't.
Yeah.
But if a person you're really close to loves that person, you gotta take it, man.
Why not set it aside? Like, yo, come and see.
No, because that person that they love.
We're coming to hang, but we don't want cameras around.
Yeah.
It's
like you can say a lot of things about Kanye West. I have a lot of issues with him, but
two
things are sure. He
never
loves his wife and he loves his kids.
Yeah.
He loves his wife and he loves his kids. You can say anything you want negative about, but those two things are true. Like that man loves his wife. So if this is your brother, you love your brother, yeah.
What if Kanye's the reason they don't hang out with them though? we were assuming it's Kim. Maybe Kanye has changed so much to the point that they don't want to hang around him.
That's true.
That's true too.
That's true.
Like literally, maybe like Kanye being with Kim, whatever. I'm not gonna blame that on her, but maybe this new Kanye, whoever he's been these past couple years, is the reason why they don't want to hang out with him. And they probably, in their mind, probably register it as well. She's the reason why you're like this or whatever. And they don't want to hang out with them at all. And I don't want my kid to be influenced by the bullshit you guys are motherfucking doing.
I mean, that could be it, but I mean,
if one of my boys is tweeting out, was saying some wild shit like Kanye would say, I want my child at that influential stage that she's at, being around your child.
Nah, that definitely is.
Just a thought. It's just like, but there's so much. It's like all speculation.
It's also, they don't have the answers. I mean, I get so. At first, I was like I said, I was angry. And I was, like now I feel pity. I felt pity up until I saw the slavery thing. I came in here, I was tweeting, I went denial, anger, now pity. Then he did the whole slavery thing today. Now it's like, yo, bruh.
Wow.
Like, you make it hard for me. I'm not apologizing. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I've been apologizing for Kanye for like how long we've been talking.
No.
But
no, you see both sides when you listen to him speak.
Like, I feel like
on certain things.
Yeah, on certain
things.
I feel like if this is purposely for him to sell albums, sell records, that's totally fucked up. I can't rock with him no more. If he's actually going through some things, then it's like, damn, bro, like from afar, like you work that out. And then when you come out on the other side and we see you good, then I'm gonna be right there behind you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Donald Trump, I said a line like, you fuck with Donald Trump, I don't fuck with you at all.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't realize this nigga still had blonde hair.
No, it's not
blonde.
Wait, what?
No, wasn't it black in the TMZ?
It was shaved off.
Yeah, the TMZ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
shaking
today.
off like
And that was
in the
today.
past like couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was happy.
And I know he filmed it in Charlemagne last week.
Oh, he had blonde hair now.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I saw that. I was like, this nigga.
He's definitely going through something.
He's
You gonna listen to the music? And listen to the album?
Scorpion. 228.
Oh God, what a fucking! I heard you. I'm glad you guys were able to say on the last podcast that is a terrible name for fucking album.
That shit is sassy.
We already using it in a group chat.
I'm just gonna be Take Care. I heard Take Care 2 was being floated out there, and he was Scorpion.
That jacket.
Yo, Eve got an album. That shit is just sassy.
Yo, that's your fave.
Hey,
I'm gonna go to Brian.
exactly.
We're playing everywhere. Good.
This boy looking. I don't know. When's it dropping now?
Just June. He hasn't announced it. He hasn't announced it, dude.
It's not on the jacket.
Yeah, I think he announced it.
What?
I think it's like the end of June, like 28th or 29th.
Oh.
Y'all listen to
Being said, right? I'm in check.
When the rainbow flies heavily, just like the scorpion.
Oh, Drake.
Damn, Kanye.
God damn Kanye. Like, yo, he wrote, like, man, this summer was gonna be crazy. Like, so much music dropping this summer. So much of it from, and I can't even, not even like to switch it, but like the whole thing with Nas. I don't know if I can listen to Nas.
What did he say?
He said nothing to Khalees.
What he said, allegedly.
Oh, what Nas and Khalees?
Like,
I didn't see that coming. Damn.
like, that's just another thing. I can't.
Is it just her word so far? Or like,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's her word. I don't like to say, you always want to believe a woman in the situation. The fact that Nas hasn't refuted anything.
he said nothing?
He didn't say nothing. He posted a picture of his son from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And like, that was it. That's what he said.
He shouldn't though, because they're gonna go to court for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He says at this point.
Well, yeah, they're in court now because she's trying to get more child support because his last couple of deals, like he's been hitting.
Yeah, he's been making money.
He's been making some
Signature
money.
fade with the bevel blade.
No, she wanted more money. Yeah. It was like, no, so she took him to court.
I know, she seen it with the bevel commercials.
And Sweet Chick.
Yeah, Sweet Chick.
And Dave East is killing, so he's making money off of that.
And then he made money. I think he invested in Dropbox too.
Oh, he did.
Made $40 million off of that. Like,
Invested in Avengers.
I was like, so I'm not even sure if I can listen to Nas album.
How much? So she wants more child support. How exactly did the conversation come about the domestic violence?
It was just an interview. She was giving an interview and she was talking about Rihanna and Chris Brown. And she was saying how she was looking at pictures of Rihanna all beat up. And she was looking at herself like, I look exactly the same. And I'm just like, yo.
I gotta go watch this interview. I gotta see how that came up.
Yeah, I don't know. There's an interview, a full. I only saw that.
I just watched the clip.
You see, I ain't gonna base it on the clip. I need to see the full interview because I need to see how that came about because Rihanna and Chris Brown was just way too old to like jump into that conversation like that. I just need to know where it came from. I'm not doubting anything she said. Let me clarify.
Yeah.
I ain't doubting anything she says. I just need to see like the surrounding circumstances. Like what happened? How did this conversation come about? How'd you bring this up? Where did this come from?
Right. She walked in the door. Yeah, now it's beating me. I don't think it was like that, but I mean, does it? I mean, it matters, but to me, like, does it? Like, should it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to know. I want to know more so like where the conversation came from, so I kind of gauge what this is really like. What's not what his intentions are, just where did it come from that made her finally come out after all these years. That's what I'm more concerned about.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So I mean, looks to me now it's just Pusha T's album to look forward to.
Tiana Taylor.
I mean, yeah. I'm not.
I forgot. I'm gonna listen to it.
I'm just. Yeah, I will listen to it.
I listen to it. I mean, I don't feel by default because my girl probably gonna play it. But
so you gotta listen to it.
I'm gonna force her to put it in her AirPods. Don't play that shit.
You gonna listen
if she got like one banger, I'm like, let me check that out.
I doubt it.
I listen.
I would listen to an album just to see if it's trash, and I wait till the last song to say it's trash.
See, nah.
I can't. I tried doing that. I did that for Cardi. I tried listening to Cardi album.
I got through 5 tracks.
Although I like Big Head. I don't know why.
Cause it's fire.
You're right.
I think we trying to hate. I like Big Head. I don't know why. You know damn well you know why I like that shit.
Bangs.
That track fire.
We think a Cole album.
Oh yeah, and that was another thing. That the Cole album. I mean, I haven't listened to it and in a couple of days. I listened to it like 5 or 6 times straight.
Okay.
I like it. I didn't like his last project. What was this? For Your Eyes Only, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I didn't like that. I feel like he's I like LD. I like LD.
Okay.
I like it.
There's a lot. There's a but. Just trying.
No, it's no but. It's no but.
Okay.
There's a but somewhere.
It's no but.
Wait, what is it? What don't you like about it?
It felt short.
Like, hey, I'll take that in 2018. If that's the biggest critique, I'll take
like,
it.
I felt like it was like 35, 45 minutes.
Yeah, you got niggas dropping novels out here.
And Post Malone got 19 songs.
I heard Post Malone album is fire.
But it is fire.
I heard it's fire. I got it downloaded. I didn't listen to it yet, but I hear great things about it.
He has a song with YG that's pretty good. The song with Sway Lee is dope. He has a song called Rich and Sad that's like, yep, it's really good.
I heard his album go in though.
I'll get to it.
When the Shrimp album drop?
On Friday.
This Friday.
Who?
Oh,
Shrimp Lake.
oh, this Friday? That's an album.
Y'all heard this song by YG, Suwoo?
Of course.
That was came out a while ago.
I don't know. I just heard it the other day. My girl played for me the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. No, listen. That's how I be feeling on the motherfucking train. Let me look around like, oh shit, let me calm down. Swoop. I'm like, oh yeah.
Speaking of
Walking through Red Star.
there's a football player, Aaron something. He released an album, and they're saying he sounds very similar to J. Cole, and it's actually pretty good. His name is Bobby Fino. I'm gonna get the info for y'all right now. But he was on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, he's a football player. He was a wide receiver for.
I'm straight.
No, it's really good actually.
Victor Oladipo dropped the R&B album. If you listen to artists, I mean actors that make music.
Arian Foster.
Oh, Arian Foster, the running back.
He raps. Yeah, he's nice.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
dead
I heard.
serious.
No. I heard it's fire.
I'm gonna send you the song today.
I heard it.
I ain't know he rapped.
He retired.
I listen to a track though. I listen to Damian Lillard's Dame Dollar. I listen to like 2 songs of his. I give him 2.
Like, isn't that the same person?
It is, but you know he got coined by his rap name, Dame Dollar. I listen to 2 tracks of his album. So I give him 2 tracks.
I forgot. Yeah, he was on the Breakfast Club, right?
And that's what made me listen to. I was like, oh, okay. And Charlamagne was even like, yo, Watermelon Sunrise. That's the name of the song. It's really good.
Okay.
And this is for both of y'all, there's not even that many songs.
That's good.
13 songs.
Okay. I'll get through 2.
I need too much to
You
catch.
know what? I'll get through 3 because most time, like on albums, the 3rd or the 4th track is normally where people put the banger. So I'll get you 3 or 4.
And by then, if you ain't hear it,
If I don't hear it, I won't ever hear it. I won't ever hear it.
What else you got on your mind? You said Drake and you told me Meek Mill.
This guy, Meek Mill.
Yes.
Oh, I got one after that. Young Bill. Cosby.
Oh.
Yo.
Man, he spoke at my graduation.
Did he? Temple.
Yeah, he.
Sorry to hear that.
Is any girls leaning when they walk on the stage? He's like, yes, I got that last night.
That was crazy because that was the last, because he spoke at every commencement, and mine was the last one before the shit hit the fan.
Damn.
So it's like, and the woman who he was just accused of, she was the head of basketball operations at Temple.
What the fuck?
So
it's coming together like an Avengers movie.
Crazy, yeah.
I'm just like, yo.
Jesus.
He's gonna die in prison.
That's
You think he make it there?
What you say?
They saying nah, he might not.
I don't think so. He's barely hanging on as is.
He look at that.
Yeah, the nigga eyelid. You know, I'm not trying to be rude, but the nigga eyelid go off.
Yeah,
This whole thing. It's like,
He raped like 28 women. Be rude.
28, 60.
60,
We
yeah.
can't prove that. We can't prove it. It's unsubstantiated facts.
If 60 women came out and had
Oh, yeah.
100,
Was it that New Yorker cover?
yeah. If
When I saw that, I was like,
if
yeah.
60 women come out, you know they're
very
at least
under the
100.
Damn.
That's all I'm saying.
That was one of the wildest comments.
I ain't gonna say what I want to say because I got a career to think about.
Just
God bless Bill.
times.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm always skeptical about shit like that, though. I'm always very skeptical about shit like that.
Let me just say this.
Say
I won't
10% of the 60 was telling the truth. Even that alone.
What if he did none? What if he did, like, honestly, think about it. What if he did none? For example, I'm the one, I subscribe to the fact that Michael Jackson didn't touch any young boys, right?
Right.
Say he didn't touch any of the young boys. He has so many claims against them, but you settle all those things. You do it for money.
It was like 3 claims.
That's a lot.
That's a
And
lot.
but there was more that got thrown out. But I'm saying it's just like those things happen because people want money. And if one person throws it out there, that shit sticks. In this day and age,
They all come.
everything sticks. For example, like Harvey Weinstein, like one person threw it, next thing you knew, 15,000 people doing shit and stick. We don't know if it's all true.
It was all true.
We don't know if it's all true. I'm not gonna say that. We don't know if it's all true.
I'm not gonna say 100%. I'm just gonna say.
I mean, and everybody in on it. Because even when people like talk around certain situations, like the Harvey Weinstein, you hear when people talk about it in Hollywood. It's like a well-known thing before people start.
It's like, oh yeah, like,
Even
the
with
casting
the
couch.
Bill
That's
Cosby-
like a thing, you
The
know.
Bill Cosby. There were murmurs around that. It's when Hannibal made the joke.
Yeah.
And then people really started to look into it, but there was already murmurs about it.
I mean, it was in the newspapers. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to court in 2006. The woman brought him to court in 2006 about the fact that and he said it on tape. You know, even in his stand-up, he was talking about Quaaludes, and it's the 80s.
My mom was saying that too, like back in the day, Quaaludes was equivalent to us like just smoking weed. Like that was the thing to do. Like if you're gonna fuck, you.
I see what them did to Leo and Wolf.
That
ain't
Rambo?
That ain't the move, though.
That was the drug of choice. That's crazy.
I'm not
That's wild.
saying defend anyone.
That was a fun night.
I don't think he really did it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he didn't do anything, but
I'll tell you guys something off the podcast, and
I just don't know about these high.
I'm gonna remind you of that.
yeah, remind me. But we can skip Bills.
Nigga, serial rapist, the way they making the scene.
Let's talk about something lighthearted.
Meek Mill back.
Oh my man.
Now everyone love him. Charged up. Yeah, never.
You can forget. When they gonna squash it, so
We all know who won.
over or under the summer. When they gonna pop up in a picture together?
Oh.
Before August.
He gonna be on the track. He gonna put Meek on the track.
Meek might be at OVO Fest.
That happened.
He gonna bring this shirt right back. He gonna bring that shirt. They gonna sing back to back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sing about it. I don't know, but that's.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Kanye gonna be there.
Kanye gonna be there. He's definitely gonna be on the
Interesting
track.
reaction.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Meek free. So I went to school in Philly, right? I went to Temple, so 4 years. Half my family lives in Philly. Meek Mill actually, he grew up on 23rd and Berks. I used to live on 20th, 16th and Berks, so like right down the block. So like, I mean, it's crazy because I never thought that he would be as big as he was. I mean, from just like people just putting his music on at house parties, like turn on the radio. And then once I got back to New York and I heard him on the radio in New York, I was like, oh, like people they really fuck with me. I didn't know how big he was, and so like for that city, his return. I mean, it's just one person. You know, of course, there's a whole bunch of work.
I didn't realize
There's a whole bunch of work that needs to be done with criminal justice reform and everything like that. But I mean, for people to go for back to bat for him as he did it, for him to actually get out, black man in America, Robert Kraft, Jay-Z, the Sixers going to pick him up.
I was in the helicopter to the game.
Word.
I didn't know.
I was like,
I had him fucked up. I don't know. I didn't know.
That's the patron saint of North Philly.
Yeah,
That guy, and only good things. I hope, he takes this time and he does something good with it, because the last thing we need
Oh yeah, damn.
is for him to do some shit, be caught up in the wrong crowd.
T.I.
Another.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go back in for round 3. Yeah, round 3.
I know you're a Meek Love Run Deep. You remember when we Kev had a little
This is where there's some full bring.
The main event.
The main event.
King.
So the Kanye, that was just the precursor to this.
That's
To
life.
I just want to say on this microphone, fuck Drake. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
What you said at the party?
Alright, so
at the party, you were like,
I know that's
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Get the club turned up more than any Drake song.
Oh yeah.
More than
I'm glad you're here.
Drake song.
Any.
What you had to drink that night?
Everything.
What didn't I have to drink that night? But it's crazy because I still feel like I'm not sure about.
You get the intro.
Wait. Let me say this now.
Right.
I might. Nice for what? Might have changed my mind.
That one did?
I feel. The last time have you been out? I heard you guys were talking about